This is a Rogue Media Network production.
Welcome to the show. Today, we are going to take a closer look at the healing power of horses and the remarkable impact they can have on people's lives. My guests are Rhonda Capron, who is a member of the board of directors of REACH, and Shannon Smith, executive director of REACH Therapeutic Riding Center. It's located in McGregor. And it is just a delight for me to get to do this because, as we were sharing earlier, last year, I really became so much more aware of the healing power of horses. And it had to do with ROC, Right On Center for Kids in Georgetown. Got to know those wonderful folks and what they're doing, and Baylor and the engineering department and how they were creating sort of a device that someone could get on that would mimic the movements of a horse. But REACH is just right here in our backyard, literally, in McGregor on Valverde Road. And it's just a delight to have you both here to talk about this. You know, it improves health and it builds confidence. It's a big thing for veterans. It's a big part of healing for veterans who suffer from PTSD and all kinds of things. So anyway, it's good. Let's get started. Shannon, for listeners who may not be familiar with REACH, tell them a little bit more about the mission of the organization and how you got involved with it.
So REACH was founded in 2008 by Larry Barnett. He was an ex-United States Air Force pilot. Turned CPA, and he had a passion for equine therapy. And so he and Candace Harrison, who was like my second mom, put REACH together in 2008, coupled with Diane and Gary Haven, who allow us to use their beautiful property that has been an enormous blessing to us. I found my way through Candace into REACH in 2011. I became a volunteer in 2011. Mm-hmm. I then became a staff member 2015. My last kid went to kindergarten, and my husband said shopping was not gainful employment, and I needed to find something to do.
No,
and
really?
so I was like, really? It's a bummer. and so I became the volunteer coordinator, and here I am all these years later, and I'm still there. So, you know, our primary goal at REACH is, you know, what I always say is we just want to stand in the gap. We want to stand in the gap for those kids and adults with disabilities and for those veterans who just need a place to go. You know, the amazing thing about REACH, other than the scientific parts of it, you know, that of what riding a horse does, mm-hmm. is the environment is so different than any of the other therapies that these kids, adults, veterans are involved in. It's not a clinical setting. We're out in the fresh air. The property is so beautiful. It feels peaceful. There's just a peace out there that you don't get sitting in the waiting room at your therapist's office, doctor's office, mm-hmm. OT, PT, speech, whatever. And so I think that plays a huge part in why what we do is so successful for helping people.
Yeah. Rhonda, how did you get involved?
Yes, you know, my husband and I, when I retired, we moved here to Waco and right before COVID hit.
Oh.
And so we, after COVID sort of spent its time with us, started looking for volunteer opportunities in the community. And although I didn't have a lot of horse background, several people just mentioned this organization to me, so I thought, you know, why not? And went out and volunteered. So that's a big shout out to volunteers. In 2020, I became a volunteer, And as long as you're not afraid to get a little dirt on your boots, you can go out and volunteer. And it's absolutely amazing. Started volunteering in 2020. Just fell in love with the organization, what the mission and what they are able to accomplish. And just in the horses and their hearts as well. And joined the board 2 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, in talking with Dr. Nancy Krennick at ROC and hearing her heart for, as a physical therapist, she was, wanting people to feel like they can do more, be more, don't be in a box.
Right.
And often, it was kept coming up, horses are magic. I mean, I don't understand what it is that is so magical about the horse, but we know just the movement of being on a horse and what it does to the human's body, it's remarkable.
In there, it's not just the mechanics of the movement, it's the connection you make with the horse that I think sometimes is the most healing part. They're so incredibly intuitive, and they meet you exactly where you are, and you can tell them, I'm going to get emotional. I always get emotional about this part.
That's okay.
You can tell them all your deepest, darkest secrets, and they're not gossiping about you behind your back. They're not telling their friends. They're not judging you. They're meeting you where you are, and they know exactly what you're feeling.
Absolutely.
And they respond accordingly. I mean, it's just, like you said, it's magical. It's just the human equine connection is unlike any other animal connection. And I'm somebody who's got 4 dogs that I've ever really witnessed.
I can tell a quick story about one of our riders.
Yes, please. Yeah.
That this spring semester I worked to lead the horse, so that's my role, and we have certified instructors who do the lesson. But this young man has autism, and he is pretty nonverbal, but has been able through the semester to do walk on and whoa for his little horse Cheyenne.
Wow, that's
I know,
amazing.
it's amazing. Cute little mare that he rides. And, sometimes he gets pretty agitated before the lesson starts, and he'll be screaming. But the moment we get him on Cheyenne and start moving out through the field, that all just melts away.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I got to talk to some veterans, female veterans that were in a class at ROC. And of course, they're assigned a specific horse, and she kept referring to the horse as her cardiologist. That it was
healing her heart.
Healing her heart.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
a great way to say that.
I know.
In all the years, I've never heard anybody say it that
Yes,
way.
right. I
So
can't remember the
true.
name of the horse, but she said,
Yeah.
"This is my cardiologist."
But you remember her and how that
Yeah.
horse made her feel.
Right. I mean, and
That she walked away with that feeling that she probably hasn't had since.
right. People have heard about equine therapy, but may not understand it. So let's talk a little more about it. How is it that horses are able to kind of sense that a physical and emotional situation that the rider has, or even, I know at Unbridled, they don't even ride at that equine therapy. They're just interacting with a horse.
Right. It's a ground program.
Yeah, which is, so let's talk about all these
Yes.
different, do that kind of thing as well at REACH?
We do.
Yeah.
So a lot of what the veterans do, they do ride occasionally. I have always thought that there's more to your interaction with a horse than a mounted session. I've always found a lot, even as an equestrian, from my own experience, my connection with my horse was always stronger when I spent time with him on the ground. So our veterans do, and quite frankly, some of them come in really timid. I mean,
Right.
they're
Or
very
maybe afraid.
fearful, and
It's a big animal.
They haven't necessarily ever had an interaction with a
Right.
horse before. So I've never been of the school of thought that we just brought people in the door and tossed them up on horses. Like, you're missing the interim. You're missing the introduction. You're missing the part where they connect with the animal, and now they've established trust. And so when they do finally get on, they're not near as scared as if you just had them sign a piece of paper, tossed them on a horse, and let them
Yeah,
out to the arena, right?
it's not a
they've
riding
got a
lesson.
relationship
Right.
at
Yeah.
this point, right?
Exactly.
Because they've established that from the foundation.
Yeah. Well, everything from currying the horse, cleaning the feet.
For
They have to get
sure.
down.
Grooming's
And
a
that's
huge part of
scary,
it.
you know. You don't want that big old foot to land on yours or whatever. I mean, it's really such an amazing process
Yes.
that equine therapy provides for the veteran or for, you know, anyone that's that's needing this kind of help. So we've mentioned the veterans. What kind of clientele do you serve at REACH?
So we serve, I think she mentioned autism earlier. We
Right.
do have a fairly significant autistic community of participants. We've got Down syndrome. We do therapeutic riding and we do hippotherapy. So therapeutic riding is learning riding skills. So it's horsemanship. We tailor each lesson. I mean, the theory's the same. The execution's a little bit different based on the skill level of the participant.
Mm-hmm.
So some of our participants can groom and tack their own horse. Some of them really cannot maintain enough connection with the instructor in order to walk through a tacking situation, and so that becomes unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of those lessons are the horse is just ready to go at that time. So it's horsemanship. So they learn to steer, like Rhonda mentioned. They learn to say walk on. They learn to whoa. They learn to turn, you know, based on their abilities level. And then we've got hippotherapy, which we partner with an OT from Elite Therapy, and she comes out on Thursday mornings, and so she just uses the horse as a tool for an actual therapy session, OT session. So she does a lot of manipulation.
Stretching.
They ride sideways, they ride backwards, they ride on their bellies.
Really?
Yes, it's very interesting.
That is fascinating.
I have always found hippotherapy, like and Holly started way before I ever even started. So she's been there, you know, since the very beginning. And I still feel like every single Thursday I learn something different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just
That is
incredible.
so interesting. Equine facilitated learning. What does that mean?
So that's a little bit more of a ground tailored program. So that's for maybe with, okay, so prime example, we had a young man a couple of years ago who was just always very fearful. So getting him on was very, very hard. And so we just tailored an EFL lesson to just be an all-ground connection with the horse. So, you know, we might create a box in the middle of the covered arena, and his goal for that lesson is to get that horse in that box without touching the horse. So do you get the horse to follow you? Do you shoe it in? This is what they have to maneuver and figure out and manipulate for themselves. And so everybody's execution of that game is pretty different. It's interesting to watch.
But horses are smart.
But they are, and they're so smart. And sometimes they look at you like, no, I'm not going to do that, but thank you.
I'd rather not.
And
Thank you
a
very
lot
much.
of times they're like, oh, we're playing a game. I'll play with you. So you just never know what you're going to get.
Isn't that funny?
And so an EFL lesson really is trying to get the participant to connect with the horse and learn to regulate their emotions using the horse to help them do that.
We just had a young lady that just was in the summer semester, and she has a medical condition that causes her to be very tight. Her muscles very tight, and her muscles very weak.
Oh.
And we had her for her very first horseback riding lesson. And she got on the horse, and we got her situated, got her sitting tall, and she rode the full lesson and was starting to use the reins at the end of the lesson with her arms, which was pretty miraculous considering her condition. So that was a first lesson. It was just such a wonderful celebration.
I say they're miracle workers.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, they
it's
really
amazing.
are. You have Horses for Warriors program. Let's talk about that.
So that's the veterans program. So we actually have 3 different veteran programs that come on Mondays. We have 2 from the VA and 1 from Fort Hood. But the community veterans come every single Monday from 5 to 7, and it's anybody in the community that is a military serviceman or woman, current or past, is welcome to come. That program is completely free of charge. You know, we created the program knowing that price has already been paid. So anyone who's in the community who's a veteran or is even active military is more than welcome to come on Mondays from 5 to 7 for fellowship with other military people and horse time, connection, healing, no judgment.
And you have segregated meetings for the female veterans?
So the 2 residential programs that come from the VA are separated.
Okay.
The community veterans are a collective group.
Just
of men
anybody
and
in the community,
just
right.
anybody from the community. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so neat. So, I mean, you shared some stories. Are there any other that come to mind that were just life impacting through REACH?
So when I was first the volunteer coordinator, so this was probably 2016, 2017, we had a veteran who was Vietnam. And, you know, it's no big secret that they didn't come back to a very warm welcome.
Yeah.
And
we've talked about that on this show a lot.
And mental health was just not something that was explored back then.
I know.
You were just suck it up, pull your boots up, and hit the road. And so he had spent the last decade locked in his apartment with the exception of doctor's appointments, you know, errands of necessity, going to the grocery store, and someone at the Veteran One Stop talked him into coming out to REACH for a session, and he very reluctantly came. And 6 months into him attending our Horses for Warriors program, he became like our maintenance man. Like I could call him and say, hey, the gate broke again. Do you think you could come out? And he'd be like, yeah, sure, I'm headed that way. And he came so far out of his shell that not only was he leaving his apartment weekly to come to see us, he then left Waco to move closer to his daughter so that he could watch his grandchildren grow up and not be this recluse. And I'm not saying it was 100% what REACH did, but I do think that what we do opens up the heart and the eyes for the healing that's been missing.
Yeah, life
that's
changing.
Needed. I mean, it totally transformed this gentleman's life.
Right.
Well, we have a little pony, a little miniature pony called Boulder, and he is an absolute stinker. But we have several participants who are completely wheelchair bound.
Yeah.
So they cannot ride, and so we. Speaking of the horse understanding, he is a stinker to us all the time. But the moment we bring him out of his stall and stand him next to a wheelchair-bound child, for them to groom him, he is perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's incredible.
It's like a different little horse.
How
It's
fun.
such a pain in my backside.
I love it.
Any other time
But
that you get a
he
child,
knows. He knows.
yeah, he just knows.
He just
Yeah.
knows.
Well, so much more I want to talk to the two of you about REACH Therapeutic Riding, and you've got a big fundraiser thing you're going to be working on for next fall. We want to talk about that as well. But I want to let you know that today's show is brought to you by Allen Samuels. It is the summer sales event at Allen Samuels in Waco. Drive the new 2026 Jeep Cherokee, 37 miles a gallon. Drive home a new 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo, 0% financing for 36 months or 2.9% for 84 months, or save $9,000 off MSRP. Or the 2026 Dodge Charger, if that's your vibe, you could score $6,000 in savings. Speaking of first responders and military, the members of those branches get an extra $500